Hi everyone, my name is Casey, also known as the Heart of Reviews, and today I am back to review one of the 2024 Countdown to Christmas movies, Scouting for Christmas. I'm reviewing this movie because I had a lot of thoughts. Were all of those thoughts good? Not necessarily, but I thought that would make a fun video because I have a lot to say, and I know that I say everything in my reviews on Instagram, but sometimes 2,200 characters just is not going to cut it, and this was one of those movies. To this movie's credit, I do think that so much of it is legitimate camp. It knew what it was doing, it leaned into it, it had the really sucky ex-husband who was just so overtly ridiculous that it had to be some sort of joke. They had the absolute crazy den mother Girl Scout troop leader. They knew what they were going for. And for the most part, they did that stuff really, really well. It's just that everything that was supposed to be normal in the movie was also really messed up. And they didn't lean into that. They were just like, yeah, this is fine. And it was not fine. I'm going to give a plot summary for those of you who have not seen the movie, which hopefully is most of you. If you have seen this movie, I'm sorry. In this movie, Brooklyn is Tamera Mowry's daughter, and she's part of the Scouts, aka the Girl Scouts, but they weren't allowed to say that, so it's the Scouts. And she's tired of her mom being single because, and I quote, actually this might be a paraphrase, but it's in my notes, being single is for cowards. I think her daughter has a whole thing about how, being alone is for cowards because her mom always tells her to ask for help and not to do everything on her own, which is kind of terrible advice. I mean, you should ask for help when you need help, but I think that she really just wants to keep her daughter close to her.
But you always tell me to ask for help when I need it because you said that's the brave way to deal with things.
I know.
Then why do you want to be alone, forever or something? That's not brave.
So the daughter hatches this master plan, Emma Clueless style, and her plan is to get her mom, Angela, Tamera Mowry, to date her favorite baker. Because that's a normal thing. Everybody has a favorite baker, classically.
Brooklyn's favorite baker.
She decides that she is going to get them together by having them ask the den mother if they can cater the big Girl Scouts gala that's being held at a library, but is apparently the fanciest gala on the face of planet Earth. Why they are still picking the caterer right before the event, who knows? It's not explained, and they make it such a big deal that everything is so meticulously planned, but clearly not if they haven't even figured out the caterer basically the day before the event. So they have to spend a lot of time prepping a tasting menu for this woman. I mean, it takes ages. It's it's for a wedding. But I'm pretty sure this is a free and unpaid event. Also, the baker is Carlo Marx, and his name in this is Sir Bakes a Bunch. Sir Bakes a Bunch. Sir Bakes a Bunch. That's his name. I mean, his name is William Glass, which really isn't much better. But Sir Bakes a Bunch. No. It just wasn't good. Anyway. So they're getting to know each other. This is all the Christmas middle bits. This is how they are falling in love. Swoon. There is about as much chemistry between me and... I couldn't finish that metaphor. I got nothing. I'm naturally effervescent. There's no chemistry there whatsoever, but this is them falling in love. He is clearly head over heels in love with her. So I say there's no chemistry, but this man is dying at this woman's feet. William is obsessed with Angela to a very scary degree. He's giving them free things. He's talking about how much he loves hanging out with her daughter. And then, ex-husband shows up. Angela and her ex-husband Dakota are divorced amicably, so they said. Also, it should be noted, Brooklyn is not technically hers biologically. She adopted Brooklyn when her and Dakota were married because he was a widower, but he goes on too many archaeological digs.
You know, it's hard for him to get out of all those archaeological digs.
So now Brooklyn is Angela's? It's very unclear. Also, this man is homeless. He travels and he works for archaeology reasons. But when he comes back into town, he's fully just intending on staying with his ex-wife. She does not like that, because they said that it was amicable. Clearly, she does not like Dakota. She really does not like this man. Immediately, she gets so pissed off. She's like, I don't like late night surprises. And he gets all mad about that. And he's like, can I please just stay on your couch, please? And she's like, fine. But you have to be gone immediately after you say hi to Brooklyn. Go get a hotel. Which I think is reasonable. You can't just expect to stay in your ex-wife's home. But also, it is his daughter. I don't know. So then, Mr. Sir Bakes-a-Bunch, he gets all freaked out, and he's complaining to his mom. He's like, she's so gonna go after her ex-husband instead of me, because she wants to be with him, because they're a family. He's just assuming that. He's never talked to her about this in her life. He's just like, oh no, the ex-husband's here. Obviously, she wants him. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. Meanwhile, the ex-husband also assuming the same thing, that she's just gonna want him back. He starts talking about the long, hot nights in the desert.
My days are filled with my work, but my nights are hot and long in the desert. Those long, lonely nights, I kept dreaming of one thing.
And she does not want that. And then he kisses her, non-consensually. He just kisses her, straight in the mouth. She was telling him no, straight to his face. He kissed her because he has some fancy idea in his head. I hated all the men in this movie, deeply. And obviously we are supposed to hate the husband. That is so clear. He tells Angela that he wants to be with her. She rejects him point blank. And then he tells his daughter that she wants him back because he knows so much about love. So clearly we are supposed to hate the ex-husband. Like, he was written to be ridiculed. And I loved that. When he showed up in this movie, I was like, yes, give me a reason to hate it. Because before, I was just hating it based solely on vibes. Anyway, back to the plot. Then Sir Bakes-a-Bunch, who's complaining to his mom, all he ever did in this movie was complain to his mom. She gets mad at him, and she's like, you should go out there and steal her away from her ex-husband because you're my baby boy and you deserve everything. They had a very strange relationship. I don't remember what happens, but at some point, Angela goes back to him and is like, hey, I have to go reject my ex-husband now. And he, because he's in his little incel ways, just assumes that she's saying that she wants to be with her ex-husband, even though she very clearly is saying that she's, like, making him leave. And so then he gets all pissed off at her. He gets so angry. They are friends. They're not even friends. They are working together to cater a Girl Scouts thing, which also they haven't even booked yet. So they do the catering, and he doesn't get it, and it's boo-hoo. Oh, that's when she goes to him, and she's like, now I gotta break up with my ex-husband. Anyway, so then this man, his mom, this whole time, has been trying to get him to, like, start another bakery somewhere. I don't know. It's all been prompted by his ex-fiancé, who I don't know why they broke up, probably because he's an idiot, but his ex-fiancé is trying to get him to open a new location, because apparently she put in half the money, and also his mom put in half the money for this one. So this man didn't even pay for his own bakery. He says, my fiancé and I put in half, and my mom put in half, but you know that means the fiancé put in half. Like, this man paid for nothing. And he decides to open the new location and to, like, let them have full reign over his marketing and the names of his sweets and everything, so that he can avoid seeing Angela and Brooklyn. He literally says that. He's like, I'm gonna open a new location so that I can be a manager, and that way I'll be so busy I won't see this lady I had a crush on for 3 days, who I think rejected me. That's not normal. That is not normal behavior. I did not like that. That's creepy. So when Dakota had told Brooklyn that he was gonna get back with Angela, the daughter gets really upset because she does not want her parents together, I guess. This is not the Parent Trap. And she rips up a drawing she had done of Angela and Sir Bakes-a-Bunch dancing at the Girl Scouts gala. And then Angela finds the drawing and she's like, oh no, my daughter, she wanted me to be with her favorite baker. So then she feels really bad about it, despite the fact that she doesn't actually like this man. People are just telling her to like this man, and she's like, oh shoot, I guess I should. So then, at the Girl Scouts gala, when suddenly the caterer can't be there, the daughter's like, oh, we know a caterer, the guy that you didn't like. Let's go get him. So they go get him. And he immediately stands up, decides not to sign the deal, and he's like, oh, she wants me? First of all, she didn't say, hey, come kiss me. She said, hey, can you come cater this thing that's important to my daughter? But whatever. Whatever. He takes that as a sign of she wants me, which he shouldn't. That's creepy. That's incel behavior. So they go to the Girl Scouts gala, and they dance, and everything's fine. And the ex-husband is like, hey man, I wanted to be with her, but it's okay that you are. What kind of man? Whatever. Then they dance. And she goes, so you want to spend Christmas with me? And he goes, just this one? You haven't been on one date. She has never said that she has any feelings for you. Nor has she ever really shown that she has any feelings for you. You're just assuming things. And you get mad that she didn't propose? What is your problem? What's your problem? And we're supposed to find that charming. Or that's the end of the movie. This is the end of the movie. With this guy. With this guy. You know what? I wouldn't have preferred the ex-husband. I was gonna say that. That's a lie. Being single is not cowardly when you don't like anybody. When you're doing fine as a single mom. She was doing fine. She was a little stressed. But you don't marry someone just to take your stress off like that. That man is going to add to her stress because he never made a single decision in this entire film that was not made for him by his mother or his ex-fiance. Legitimately not a single decision except for giving her free things. What is the opposite of the Bechdel test? Because this movie did not pass that. Sir Bakes-a-Munch had 3 brain cells and they were all being controlled by a different woman. Anyway, now that I've told you the full plot, I'm gonna dig into some of those things that are just a little strange. Okay, something good is Aunt Sarah. She was excellent. She was amazing. I don't really understand how she fits into the story. Like, who are you? Where did you come from? How much do you know about Angela's life? Were you there when Dakota was there? I don't know. However, incredible vibes. She was the only person with a brain cell, but she still supported Angela's relationship with her daughter's favorite baker, so maybe she didn't. I'm convinced that this movie was made with AI. I am hoping the script was made with AI. Because if somebody told me that ChatGPT wrote the script, I'd be like, sounds about right. That's fine. That's, I wish they wouldn't, but this makes sense. Because no one behaved normally. And also, things like favorite baker, that would make more sense. Anything the ex-husband said, that would make more sense. The whole plot makes sense. It's also the production that I think was done with AI. William, aka Sir Bakes-a-Bunch, had a sign behind him that, it was his board of everything he has selling that day. And one of the categories was farmazon baking. Like, farmer and artisan. But that's not a thing. I looked it up. Nobody has ever said that in the history of the world, ever. And also, why would that be a category? Why would that in your local everything is homemade bakery? In your local everything on the board is homemade. Why would you have one category that's just farmazon baking? Why? What props team gave that to an AI and was like, yeah, this is fine. Nobody's gonna look at it. I look at it. Me. Think about me, props team. Think about me. Also, how can that take any less time? Also, if it was a real props team who made that, what were you thinking? Now I just have real questions. What do you know about bakeries that I don't know? I'm willing to believe that you know more about bakeries than me. I just need you to tell me. There were also some really creepy coloring pages in Brooklyn's room that I was just like, an adult colored these, and also I don't like them, and I would like them to go away now. Another thing that felt AI to me, and this might not be AI, this might just be Hallmark's marketing timeline. The poster is Tamera Mowry on a for sale sign that says Scouting for Christmas, and the tagline is, real love is the most prime real estate. She is a realtor. We do see her face on a bench, and she talks about it. She talks about being a realtor. She's been doing it for 2 years, ever since she divorced Dakota. We don't know what she was doing before. She doesn't seem to care. But there's nothing else about real estate in this entire film. No point does real estate even matter. She does look at Mr. Favor Baker's contract for the thing he's about to sign and says that it's terrible and he hasn't read it. I don't know why he has a contract also, because like it's not even a deal that they've really discussed at all. His mom was just like, do the thing, and who knows? But she looked at that for some reason. Why you're getting a realtor to look at your business contract? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. At first, a lot of my problems with this movie just stem from the fact that I really am not a big Carlo Marx fan. Just something about his face unsettles me, which is not his fault or his problem. But I did go into it being like, I don't want to watch a Carlo Marx movie. So I do say that that is on me. However, then he just started doing weird things in the film, and I was like, you know what, I stand by this. He does a really terrible British accent that just unnerved me. I didn't like it. Why would they take that out of the movie? It's not silly. It's not silly. Because it's not bad enough. It's not knowingly bad. If it was really knowingly bad, it'd be funny, but to me, it felt like he was really proud of that.
Coming right up, Lady Angela and Princess Brooklyn.
There's also a part where he just starts walking around her house, humming really creepily and just like looking around. And I get that that's a normal thing to do, but for some reason the way that he was doing it, I did not like it, and I do think you could recut this entire movie, as a horror film.
Sleep tight.
It just felt like he wanted to harvest her skin. And this is not a problem with Carlo Marx, necessarily. This is a problem with his character. Being just so obsessed with this woman, that was not right. There was something wrong there. He was so immediately in love with her because her daughter said that he should be. And that's strange. How desperate is he? Clearly, very, because he's afraid his mom might die, and then who's gonna make his decisions? His fiancée left, so he needs another woman. Plus bonus, this one has a daughter, so when the mom dies, the daughter can make decisions for him. Classic. Hallmark right now has this show called The Chicken Sisters, which I think is a beautiful, brilliant show that has so much feminism and just really fun takes on womanhood. But there's a man in that show named Frank Jr. And Sir Bakes-a-Bunch is essentially Frank Jr. He is very similar. But Frank Jr., we are not supposed to like him. We are supposed to actively root for the leading lady to cheat on him and leave him. That is what we're supposed to want. So I just don't understand why Hallmark wanted Angela to end up with William so badly. It just really left a bad taste in my mouth. But going to a character that we are supposed to hate is Dakota. Honestly, Dakota made me laugh out loud. I detested him. He might be the most hateable man Hallmark boyfriend, but I don't even know if I can say that. Because the Hallmark boyfriends that are so hateable are the ones that are believable, right? Like, I hate William Glass. I do not like this man. Just like I did not like the creepy whale guy in Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade, or the bright light up ring guy in the Christmas Waltz. Dakota is a special breed because he is just so out there, and he's so over the top with it. And not in the way that Frank Jr. is. Like, this is just a man who does not exist. Or if he does exist, you're really hoping that he's not in your life, but he's kind of fun to observe from afar. First introduction to him we get is he can't come home for Christmas, and Tamera Mowry says,
You know, it's hard for him to get out of all those archaeological digs.
in a movie that starts so realistically, single mom, Girl Scout daughter just wants her mom to find love, great, easy. To then just throw in archaeological digs, I get that that is a job that people have, but it sounded very strange. And then when he shows up, he immediately starts talking about like a cargo ship or a cargo plane. I don't know, just his crazy way that he ended up in whatever small town in Illinois they're in or whatever.
We finished the dig a week early, so I chartered a boat down the Amazon and then somehow managed to catch a flight on an old cargo plane.
And that's just crazy. And clearly he's one of these guys that likes to boast about things when he's not necessarily telling the truth. And that came through. And I really liked that. But you're just like, oh, this movie has taken on a different tone now. Now we have characters living in reality, and this guy. But you know what? This guy is not any better than the favorite baker. He keeps calling her Angel, and she keeps telling him to stop. He calls her Little Squash. Little Squash? And then again with the desert, the nights are hot and long, and I was thinking of you. Hallmark. Spicy, first of all. Second of all, what is your problem, dude? What is your problem? And then he gives us one of the most fantastic turnarounds. It reminds me so much of Matchmaker Santa, the really iconic movie with Lacey Chabert. If you haven't seen it, go find it somewhere. The end of Matchmaker Santa. Lacey Chabert has been stranded in this small town with her boyfriend's coworker and best friend. And they have fallen in love because they've been staying in the same hotel room, and Santa has forced them to fall in love, right? She feels bad about it. She's like, gosh, I don't want to cheat on my boyfriend, but I do really like you. And also my boyfriend is the worst person ever. Her boyfriend, the worst person ever, he has been at home with his ex-girlfriend, does not seem to care at all that his girlfriend is stranded in a small town. And granted, Santa keeps forcing him to stay in by, like, sticking a bear on him. It's a very strange movie. But at the end of the movie, when he comes to pick her up, finally, he brings his ex-girlfriend along. And Lacey Chabert, she tries to go, hey, Justin, I have something to tell you. And she's ready. She's ready to lay it all out, to apologize, to break up with him, to just, like, take the blame, right? And Justin goes, oh, I have something to tell you too. Her and I, we used to be lovers. And you know what? We're lovers again. He doesn't even break up with her. He's just like, yeah, we're dating now. And Lacey Chabert, she looks at him like he's insane, but she's like, okay then. She doesn't even say, hey, I'm dating Dean, so no worries. She's just like, yeah. And then it's up to the new girlfriend. She's like, sorry, Melanie. What? But then everyone's fine. So I've always said, my dad has always said that this is such a hilarious ending because that is just like so unrealistic. Even if she did not care about Justin anymore, that you would just be like, yeah, of course show up here with your new girlfriend. And he would not even think about breaking up with her or apologizing or being a human being.
I can't marry you.
What?
If I marry you, my mother will die.
What the hell are you talking about? We're engaged.
Loretta, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about a promise, okay? He proposed.
Because my mother was dying and now she's not.
Oh, Johnny, you're 42 years old. She's still running your life.
And you are a son who doesn't love his mother.
You are a big liar, okay? Because I have a ring right here.
Oh, I must ask for that back.
All right, the engagement is off.
In time, you will see that this is the best thing.
In time, you'll drop dead and I'll come to your funeral in a red dress.
And here Dakota does something very similar, but on a nicer way, in which he just says to the baker, like, yeah, you can have her, because at least someone does. Which, first of all, that's messed up. She does not need a man. I really wanted this movie to end with her having no man. I really needed that for my soul. But Dakota, who this whole movie has, like, non-consensually kissed her, called her Angel, stayed at her house when she didn't want him there, has just been a general nuisance to just give up and be like, yeah, let the incel have you. That's not real. That's not a movie. These are not people. These are not characters. No one in this movie was a character. You know what? The little girl, she was really good. I wish that she would figure more out about love and realize that her mom does not need to be with someone, because that's messed up. But she was great, and the actress was great too. Honestly, the actors were all doing their jobs. They were doing their jobs. I more had a problem with the characters. The woman who played the Girl Scout den mother, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Aunt Sarah, great. Tamera is always lovely. Carlo Marx, I can't comment because I hated his character so much. Also, the den mother, when she tries Sir Bakes a Bunch, his baked goods, she has a cupcake, right? And she just, like, picks part of it out. Part of the frosting, and then eats it with her fingers. And then she says that it's too sweet because all she ate was the frosting. It's really funny from, like, a character acting standpoint, but I hated it. Like, girl, just bite the cupcake. Just bite the cupcake. And maybe it was supposed to make us really angry. And that's why I say that so much of this movie, I think, was camp. But so much of it was not. And so therefore it did not work. Also, They could have said so much here with, like, the den mother didn't like her, didn't like Angela because she was a single mom, or because she was late all the time. It was very unclear. And I wanted to see that, and I wanted to see Elizabeth sort of confront her prejudices, but then we realized that her home life isn't great either because she's just like a stressed, crazy person who needs Xanax and help. There is a moment where Dakota like helps her at the end, and literally the whole time I was like, we need a romance between Dakota and, I think her name was Elizabeth, the den mother. Granted, she was married. However, I do see a sequel where she cheats on her husband with Dakota, and then it's just like a hot mess and everything sucks. And I think that would be really funny. I think that Hallmark should make that. No happy endings, just messy. Another little qualm I had was that they keep talking about this man's gingerbread cookies, and they are sugar cookies that he has decorated to look like creepy gingerbread men. Creepy. I don't like the creepy little faces. I didn't like it. Sir Bakes a Bunch. Creepy man making creepy little gingerbread that aren't gingerbread. They're sugar cookies. And she's like, oh, I love your gingerbread. No, you don't. You love his sugar cookies that he decorates with some brown frosting. That's not the same. It's not the same. And they never once acknowledge it. Yet again, I'm like, do the props people just not know what gingerbread is? Does the AI who 3D printed these sugar cookies not know what gingerbread is? I have so many questions about the making of this film. I don't know why I said that twice. I just got really heated. And I haven't really discussed it, because I feel like I already talked about it. But why was the mom just like meddling? I guess because she put 50, she was a half owner, and she knows her son is an idiot. That's why she was pushing him so hard to be with Angela, because she's like, God damn, he needs a person. He needs a woman with a brain. She was just looking out for her business. But he's an adult man. He is an adult man. This single mom, she has a whole rant about how hard it is to be a single mom. She does not need another kid, aka Sir Bakes a Bunch. This movie, at first I was just bored. For the first hour, I was so bored. I was like, nothing is happening. These people are cardboard. And then at least Dakota came in, and I was like, well, he's interesting. He's terrible, but he's interesting. And then Sir Bakes a Bunch just kept being more and more of an incel, and I just couldn't let it go. I had to say something about it, because I have been thinking about this film. If you made it through the entire movie, God bless you. If you didn't, I promise it gets more entertaining, but so much more aggravating. Hope this video helped. I hope this video stops some people from watching it. I'm sorry if you're a person who was involved in the making of this film. If you have answers for me to any of my queries, please let me know. For example, why does she end up with Sir Bakes a Bunch? Please tell me. Why does everything seem like it was made by AI? What's a pharmazine? And now, a word from our sponsors.
With Daisy sour cream, every day gets better. Every dollop, every squeeze, every moment together. Brush it in, soak it up. You can never get enough. Great days are better with a dollop of Daisy. Do a dollop, do a dollop. Everything is better with a dollop of Daisy.
That is all for me. I have been Casey, also known as the Heart of Reviews. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of these Countdown to Christmas movies this year. Hopefully, they can only go up from here. Bye.